All right, good morning, and I would like to talk about our immune system. Specifically, one of the great blessings that there is just to have a healthy body, just waking up and looking out and being able to interact with the wonderful world and with other people, and just to feel good, to be out and just to go for a walk or smell and engage with all of the beautiful things that are out there. It's wonderful. And if you ever throw your back out and you hurt, or catch a bad cold or something, or for some reason or not, you don't have your health, it really gives you an appreciation for just how wonderful, what a blessing it is just to be healthy and strong. And I believe that that's the state that we're made. Our bodies are designed and built to maintain and be healthy if we give it the things that we need. And I wanted to talk about something some years ago. Perhaps you've heard this as well, this statement, and it's fascinating. Claude Bernard, he was a contemporary of Louis Pasteur, and there was this battle kind of going back and forth, a debate between germs and the terrain or our body. And this is what he said: the terrain is everything, the germ is nothing. And just a quote here. This is another guy, the father of pathology, says, "If I could live my life over again, I would devote it to proving that germs seek their natural habitat, diseased tissue, rather than being the cause of the diseased tissue. Ergo, mosquitoes seek the stagnant water, but do not cause the pool to become stagnant." Well, that's some interesting thoughts right there. In fact, let's see if I can get this thing to, there we go. And here's Pasteur. And supposedly, this is what he said on his deathbed. Bernard was right. The pathogen is nothing. The terrain is everything. Well, to bring this more up to date, this controversy going back and forth, this is something I was looking at with a current person that's a scientist. This is something I looked up. It says, and this is kind of a fun headline: "Move over, bacteria. Viruses make their mark as mutualistic microbial symbionts." That means that they actually have a symbiosis. Some of them can actually be beneficial. And so this is what she said, Marilyn. The word virus connotes morbidity and mortality, not good words. But that bad reputation is not universally deserved. Viruses, like bacteria, can be important, beneficial microbes in the human health and in agriculture. Viruses are beyond a doubt the coolest things I have ever encountered. They do truly amazing things with very little genetic information. I was always a little disturbed at the bad rap they got, so it was exciting to find some good ones. So that's kind of an interesting thought right there. And boy, you don't have to go very far to find some good ones. And you've probably heard this statement that is flabbergasting. The human body, depending on which article you read, it's 30 to 40 trillion cells that we have. So if I'm bigger, maybe I'm getting close to 40 trillion cells. That is a just outstanding number. However, residing within us, all of the little bugs that live in us, they outnumber the human cell by 10 to 1. Is that possible? Could we maybe be the carrier and they're the main thing on a cell count? That's true. However, most of those little critters, their cells are teensy tiny compared to the relatively big size of human cells. But if you look at this, what they call the human microbiome, which is all the stuff that lives inside us, most of that is in the gut, and it could be a couple of pounds. So that it is substantive, and all of that's in there. And so here's the thought. We could kind of go back and forth. The terrain is everything, the germ is nothing. I believe that probably most people that think about this, it's probably a little bit of both. But I think the big thing we want to talk about is this is a natural and even essential part of the a life existence is getting along together. And we don't want to go look for pathogens and introduce them to our bodies. That would be silly to look for something like that and just deliberately expose ourselves. And is it really realistic that we could make everything sterile all the time? In fact, there's a lot of evidence that maybe when you're raising kids and they're out playing around and they get some dirt in their mouth, that actually could be a good thing to help culture the body and to train the body's immune system. And one of the things I think is really fascinating about this idea in history is that all of these bugs kind of are around us, and together as we progress along as a group, we build up something. As an example, the cold virus. That's been around a long time, and although it's not entertaining to have a cold, we kind of get along okay. Not convenient, but not deadly either, and it's just kind of there. However, if you were someone and went to a population and they never had colds, where it became novel to them, or heaven forbid, some of the other stories where maybe the Europeans came to new areas, new people, and decimated them with things that they were okay, or all of us that have maybe had the experience of Montezuma's revenge. We're here in the United States, we really do have a very sterile food system going on that, and I appreciate the good hygiene in most kitchens. And but we go to another country, and how come they don't get the trots when they eat the food there or drink the water? Well, their body's kind of used to it. Now, I'm not saying that we want to get used to things deliberately, but the thing I think is fascinating is they're here, and that's what it's all about. But one of the most fascinating things is when you look at all of the bugs that live in us, they're not only there just because they're there, but they actually are symbiotic. And in fact, one of the things I think since we're going to talk about the immune system, that especially the friendly bacteria, those actually are an integral part of our immune system. They also do things like help us digest our food. They can actually manufacture. They actually create things like B vitamins, more complex things like if you've heard of BDNF, brain-derived neurotropic factor. So there's actually active things that help our brains work that are manufactured by the right type of bacteria. And just physically being there, they can displace or compete in space for maybe the bugs that aren't so good. But it's actually part of us. And some scientists are actually referring to this biome as an organ of itself in the way you would define what organs do. This is what they do. So it's a fascinating thing to look at. And so if you look at the immune system, the immune system essentially is to help get rid of the bad guys, yeast, bacteria, virus, dead cells. I like this thought. The immune system is kill the bad guys and take out the trash. That's what they do. Throughout the body, you can see different things: tonsils, adenoids, lymph nodes, thymus. All of these different things have different functions. When I was a kid, the fad was everybody got their tonsils taken out, and that was thought of as just a vestigial organ that was no longer used somewhere back in time. In fact, same thing with the appendix, but they're actually a lot of people are thinking that is actually an essential, important part of our immune system. Yeah, we could live without it, but it does add value. Just as a thought, tonsils, they could actually kind of catch and trap bacteria and viruses that we might breathe in. So that's the thoughts on that, is to catch that. Appendix, now what possible use could that be? Well, what they're looking at that is over time, what can happen is that all of those good bugs once in a while you might get some bad stuff, and you get just really bad diarrhea, which is actually one of the big killers worldwide. And when you lose all of your good bugs, that's kind of the storehouse. And so when you reboot your immune system, that is where they kind of can culture and populate us from the appendix. So that's just kind of an interesting thought right there. So immune system, if you have a healthy immune system, that's invaluable. So many things that are out there that we get. Just think about anything that comes along. Some people get it, some people don't. Some people get it really bad, and some people might suffer just minimally, or maybe not even know that they've got it. It's all a lot about that idea of the germ or the terrain. We want to have a very healthy, robust terrain. Here's a big thing though. Wow. Pro tip: you should wash your hands even when there isn't a global virus panic. And I believe what we're going through right now, we're not going to go back to normal. I believe in a lot of ways things are different. One of the big things I'm really hoping for is, years ago, you've probably read that statistic too, is some people actually went and did some tests on gas pump handles, grocery cart handles, a lot of public things, money, and 100% of all of those things tested, they found human fecal matter. And oh golly, so hopefully we can all learn to wash our hands, which we all should do anyway. But that's a really important thing on what's going on right now. Fascinatingly, soap is a unique molecule. Part of it attracts water, and part of it attracts lipids or fats. And so that's one of the magic things about soap. And things like bacteria and virus and things like that, it actually can just not only wash them off the skin, which is a really good thing, because it helps detach that from the skin, but it can actually dissolve them, so to speak, actually break them down like a house of cards. So that's just one of the very best things you can do. The skin itself, if you don't have any wounds or anything, it's a very effective barrier to the outside world. As you've probably heard, if you get burned or different things like that, or cut yourself, that's how bugs can gain entry. So skin is great. So while that's on your hand, probably not anything is going to happen. However, just so easy, your eye itches or your nose, something like that. If you got the bugs on your hands and then you touch your face, that's how we become inoculated very, very often. And so bad stuff can live a long time on different surfaces, and we touch that, now that's contaminated. So we all want to just be in the habit of washing our hands a lot. The best way to treat a problem is never get it in the first place. Now, one of the things I think is really fascinating, and there's a couple of books, Never Get Sick Again, How Not to Die, never, this man, and I'm going to talk about that in just a minute, but he talks about everything begins on a cellular level. If your cells are happy, you're happy. If you have healthy cells, your body is healthy. That's a fascinating thought right there. If you take care of each cell in your body, disease cannot happen. Could it be that simple? Here's the thing I believe that's just really fascinating. There are not thousands of different diseases, but only one disease. And in a way, when you look at how he's defining this, you got to say that's true. Think of all the problems that there is. What they are is malfunctioning cells. Isn't that fascinating? And so often we have malfunctioning cells, and so we have some dis-ease, but it is not really evident because it's just a few of those cells, and we can fix that. But think about this. Okay, put simply, if the cells that make up your body are healthy, then you are healthy. Take care of your cells by providing them with all the nutrients they need, keep them free of injurious toxins, and I'll say contaminants and bad stuff. Disease won't happen. Wow. That makes a lot of sense. And so here's this author who had some really serious problems himself on his deathbed, got thinking about all of this, and he put together this idea and followed it, and wow, made this powerful discovery. Almost all disease can be prevented or reversed. As a result, health is a choice. A lot of us listening to this have heard this. Health is a choice, and be healthy by choice, not by chance. Wow, could it be? Uh, so here's a couple of his books that I really recommend you get. Never Be Sick Again, Never Feel Old Again. And so, okay, one disease, that is malfunctioning cells. Two causes. What it is malnutrition or toxicity. 6 pathways, let's look at those things. Okay, let's see if I think I pushed the button the wrong way. There we go. Okay, all you need to know at any point in time is which direction you're going along each of the pathways. Okay, these 6 pathways, we're going to go into that. Which way you're going, toward health or disease, and then make those corrections. Make good choices along all of those paths, and you'll be healthy by choice and not by chance. And so here's all of the pathways. Nutrition, you are what you eat. Learn to select and prepare the types of food that helps your cell functions best. Toxins, they're everywhere, and we can take some burden marvelously. The body is designed to handle that, but there is a point where it starts to break down, it becomes overcome, and that causes malfunction. So that's an important thing. There's always a psychological component. Talk to any doctor, pretty much any disease, there can be an emotional connection. And so how our life, how our thoughts are, that can have an effect on our cells. Physical cells, they need physical maintenance. And so rest, exercise, sunlight, fresh air, doing good things. There is genetic dispositions already, predispositions. And so how our genetics can affect our cells. And there's diseases that arrive from that. Now, one of the things that's really fascinating is a lot of new studies that they call epigenetics. That means above genes, that you can actually, with doing the right kind of things, your environment can prevent some of those bad things from expressing themselves and actually change your genetics by doing that. And in fact, I've actually heard it said that food and different things like that can be epigenetic modulators. That's kind of a fun thought right there. And then also, if you have pneumonia or other things, medicine can be a miracle. So many infectious diseases were out there, and a lot of them have disappeared. Polio, what a wonderful thing. Smallpox, a lot of things are no more, and that was because of medicine. So that can be a wonderful thing. Now, here's a thing I think is really profound right here. Physicians consistently assume that a patient is well until his or her condition deteriorates into symptoms that the doctor recognizes as a diagnosable disease. And so we kind of talked about this a little bit, but consider the balance between sickness and health as a scale. So many people, are they vibrantly healthy, or on the other side, are they dead? Most of us probably somewhere in between, not as healthy as we could be, but we're still alive. So somewhere along there also is there actually a diagnosable disease, or have you got, or not there? And a lot of people, as you get older, I think it's something like half of the people that are 65 have a chronic disease or more. And so as life progresses, your position on the scale shifts, moving back and forth all the time. And that's one of the exciting things. If you actively take a charge of all of these aspects that can make your cells healthy and happy, you could actually move the scale towards being more healthy. You could actually be younger than you are next year biologically. Eventually we're all going to die. But in the meantime, you really can do something like adding life to your years. Not adding just years to your life, but adding life to those years. And here's a statement here. The only way to heal a disease is to normalize cellular function by correcting cellular malfunction. And to me, all of this kind of stuff is common sense. And so just to kind of say it again, health equals all the positive things minus the negative things. So that's what we want to do. So let's go through a few of them. Now, going to the grocery store, one of the most fascinating things is just to look at other people's grocery carts. And when I see some people's grocery carts, I think that couldn't be. But there it is. They're buying it. They're taking it home. They must be going to eat it. And so much of that is, I guess they call it food, but is it really food? And here's the thought. We are what we eat. And this statement here I love. If a food will not rot or sprout, then throw it out. If you have something that will last and last and last, on YouTube, there's a guy that went to McDonald's years ago, and he bought 2 burgers, and it was winter, so he had a coat on, and so he just popped one of the burgers in his pocket, ate the other one, and then he came home and completely forgot about it. The coat got hung up in the closet, got pushed to the back, had a couple of other coats, completely forgot about it until the next year when he pulled the coat out, the next winter, and there was that hamburger, and he reached out and unwrapped it, and it looked just like he had just bought it. It was dried up, of course, but it wasn't spoiled at all. And he got thinking, wow, would real food do that? Wouldn't real food spoil? It looked just like it was just purchased. And so he started collecting hamburgers, and he's had some that were like something 10 years old. That's on YouTube for your entertainment. But oh goodness, so if you eat food with a long shelf life, then you're going to have a short shelf life. So that's just a thought right there. Eat food that's alive. And if you're going into the grocery store, the thought is don't even go up and down the aisles at all. Just stay around the perimeter where the produce and fresh things is. And so, wow, food isn't just like medicine, it is medicine. Wow, this is a big thing. And I mentioned earlier, food is an epigenetic modulator, but also sugar is an epigenetic modulator in the wrong way. Processed food is not food, and it'll process you in the wrong way. This is food. Get as much food as you can in its natural and whole state. It will change your whole life. All the experts will agree that most problems we have, we give them to ourselves with a knife and a fork. Here's a thing that I think is really fascinating, and I hope you'll do some research on this. And this is not just weird woo-woo esoteric whatever. This has been studied in mainstream, and it is a reality. And this is a big deal. We are what we eat, but also we are what we don't eat. We can dramatically change yourself. Listen to this right here. This is a statement that is fascinating. Studies have shown that if you can fast as little as 3 days, that you can regenerate your entire immune system. Wow. Also, what's really interesting is when you fast, you create lots of new stem cells and all sorts of things. Isn't this fascinating? Even the elderly, scientists have found in just a breakthrough described as remarkable. A lot of people never fast, but over all of the eons that we've been around, our bodies are designed to do that. And if animals are sick, a lot of times they don't eat. And a lot of times if you feel sick, there's just this natural thing that, oh, I don't feel like eating. Well, follow that. And especially if you don't feel like eating. One of the dumbest things you could do if you feel a cold coming on is eat sugar. Specifically, have something like a big bowl of ice cream. If you've ever tried something like that, boy, that will just really do bad things. There's a couple of really neat words, autophagy and apoptosis. Autophagy, when you fast, it initiates these processes. Autophagy is just kind of cleaning up the body, fixing things up. Apoptosis actually is cellular death, which is something that's supposed to happen. Specifically, as an example, cancer, those are cells that forgot how to die, and you need things like that to happen. So recleaning with fasting, and if you haven't tried it, I don't recommend absolute fasting. That would mean no water. When I fast, what I like to do is drink lots of PIMAG water and do jade green zymes. That's almost no calories, and that has kind of a cleansing effect. And if you fast one day, just do that. See what you think. And you might be thinking, oh man, but once you get past that, then that's not too bad. You don't definitely go out and try to do a long run or anything like that, because you're not going to have a lot of energy. But just going for walks and things like that, it's remarkable. Your senses become very heightened. Fasting is really good for your brain. Your brain loves having you fast. It's good stuff. And just let's read this. Fasting for as little as 3 days can regenerate your entire immune system. And so one of the best things, if you don't feel good, try doing that. Powerful. I mentioned this a little bit, but this is amazing. Okay, the amount of sugar found in 2 sweetened beverages can lower your immune system response by 50% for hours. Stop eating sugar. It's just, sugar is an addictive drug. Most of the population is overweight. Nobody wants to be overweight, but we're addicted to sugar. Use this right now as maybe a reason to, we need our immune systems all the time. And wow, this is one of the best things we can do, is just say, okay, no more soda pop. Certain things, once in a while, I'll have maybe what I would call recreation food, but not every day. And certainly some things I've just said, I'm just not going to do it. Ice cream. Okay, we went to Italy and had some gelato, but day to day, no, I'll go months without that. Donuts, I'm just done. I just don't do those. Certain things like that, I just don't do. This is a big deal, especially where I live up in the Idaho Panhandle. In the winter, the daylight is not often, and it's cold, so you kind of stay inside. If you are outside, you're covered. One of the most interesting things is out in full sun and bare skin. If you're bare skinned and out in full sun, they estimate that the body can manufacture about 1,000 units a minute. Isn't that amazing? And so if you're looking at a 400 IU pill and thinking, oh, if I take 2, that might be dangerous. Say that again. Your body can make 1,000 units per minute in full sun in the summer if you have bare skin. So that's pretty interesting. And if you look this up, vitamin D, which actually isn't really a vitamin, it's a hormone, and it's involved in all sorts of really important metabolic processes, very integral to a good immune function. You want to have adequate amounts. And so I've got a bottle of it, and I take 5,000 one of those every day, and such cheap insurance. So highly recommend get some D, good stuff. Medicinal mushrooms. If you look this up, a lot of studies on some of the exotic mushrooms. Shiitakes. Now, I've Roger Drummer, maybe you've heard him. He talks about, of all the things that you eat, get organic. I used to buy shiitakes made in China. those dried ones. Loved them, but I just got thinking, how mushrooms work is they're the scavengers of the world. They break down stuff, and you are what you eat, but you also are what you eat eats. And so you want to be really careful, because if this stuff is grown on bad stuff, which just makes me kind of nervous. And so I buy the organic shiitakes, and if I supplement with them, I buy from reputable. But all of these things, these are really good things for your body. Lots of good studies, renowned for having good immunological support. So I just kind of have that every day. Another thing, huge, and we probably already know this, if you don't sleep well, that predisposes you to get sick. And in fact, studies have shown that pretty much sleep is directly connected to just how long you're going to be here on Earth. You want to get good sleep. Specifically, this article right here talks about cytokines. They're produced and released during sleep, and that's an integral part of just helping target and fight infection. Sleep, make sure you're getting adequate sleep. Exercise, that creates really positive changes in your body, antibodies and activity. Just helps your mental, everything is better. Stay active. It sends powerful signals to your body that you're still alive. If you quit moving, you die. Movement is being alive. And now, on the other hand, if you know anybody that's really pushed themselves and done a marathon, that can be a good thing. However, very often right after that, you're pulled down so much that you'll catch a cold or something. So if you just do a moderate exercise every day, that could be just going for a walk is one of the most wonderful things. But physical activity can really boost your immune system and just make life more fun. And so with the circumstances right now, I recommend get outside, go for walks, do things. Feed my immune system. Okay, specifically, there's a lot of wonderful things out there that I mentioned vitamin D, zinc. You want to have adequate zinc. Elderberries, that's something I think is fascinating. Look that up. There's a lot of things that you can buy at health food stores that are basically boiled down elderberries. And there's clinical studies that that stuff can help your immune system. Garlic, I've heard it referred to as Russian penicillin. And I take garlic every day. Garlic is amazing. And so certain herbs can be very helpful. I've heard golden seal, echinacea specifically are very good stimulants to the immune system, but probably shouldn't be taken every day continuously over time, because it's a stimulant versus, say, a tonic. Turmeric, I have some of that in my shake every day. There's just a lot of really good things that you can do. Certain oils like oregano, sage, some of those can be helpful too. One of the big things, that's the bugaboo, common denominator to everything bad. If you have chronic inflammation, that can help set you up for infection. That way, bad cells or germs or bugs can get into you easier on an inflamed part of your tissues. Do things that can undo inflammation, get it back into balance. Now, this is something I saw, a phrase I think is really fascinating. A spiritually weakened immune system. And I think there is a component to that in everything. And if you have a strong and abiding faith, that can positively affect everything about your life, including your immune system. Look step up and read it. It's pretty interesting. In fact, I was reading a study that on average, if you have an active faith and you practice it, uh, the number is 7. 7 years you'll live longer than average. That'll add 7 years to your life. That's kind of an interesting thought. And here's another one right here too. In fact, going back to that, let's just they look happy. There's a book. Let's see, it's Life Miracle, Healing, Laughter and Miracles by Dr. Bernie Siegel. It's a great book. But laughter, human, happiness, things like that, it can create miracles. It really can. There really is truly an emotional component. There's lots of studies about that. And then one of my favorite thoughts by Tony Robbins: controlling our focus is the single most important thing in life. What you focus on is how you feel. And here's the thing, even on that, having a strong sense of purpose, they found that actually gives you a stronger immune function, lower inflammation, lower blood pressure, fewer heart attacks. In fact, you're a couple of times less likely to have Alzheimer's if you have a strong sense of purpose. So have purpose, have something to live for, and be working toward it. Having goals keeps you alive. So that's some ideas that can help you be healthy, happy, and live long and prosper. And hope you enjoyed our little presentation. And have a wonderful day, and go out and enjoy your family and your life.